I'm showing that I love her, or I'll beat her so that I can show her she's not the special one, I'm the best one, so that she can submit to me. You know, you misquote the Bible, even spiritually. You hear preachers or men of God misquoting the Bible, be submissive. But then how will I be submissive to a man who is abusive? You see, you're forcing me to submit to you, yet you're not giving back what the Bible also told you, that you should love me. You see, so such things are things that we need to talk about. We need to make people aware. We need to ensure the nation and everyone knows, so that you take caution.
Flooding has been reported in residential areas in Nairobi as rivers broke their banks Sunday night. There was a heavy downpour from around 7 p.m. till dawn. The water here was a lot. It was heavily flooded on this whole road. It was like a river, and you could not tell where the road ended and the trenches were. It all looked the same, but we hope the government will help us. Those who live by the Nairobi River are being urged to move to higher ground. At least 40,000 people are displaced in 21 out of 47 of the counties in the country. Flooding and mudslides have also been reported in Western Kenya.
Have goats, then it means I won't venture into the goat business because I cannot afford that capital. If there's too much taxation on businesses, it means you're even demotivating me from starting a business because I am working for you, I am not benefiting anything. So taxation is really not the way to go.
Basically, they don't pay tax. They don't have a, what do we call it?
A salary.
They don't have a salary that is taken to the bank because this salary is basically deducted from the bank. A motorcycle rider doesn't have even a pay slip. So they're not the ones who are being benefited.
Nyotangu ikuzima. Mi kampeni yangu ilikuwa fine, hata nominations zilikuwa fine. So ilifika tu a point ile kakamwa.
Thank you so much. My name is Blair Onyango, chairperson of Onagi Comrades Alliance, student leader at the Technical University of Kenya. And before I proceed, I just want to ask you to comment, like, and follow AdTech TV. Also get to follow Wave Talk Show. Thank you so much.
Wakasema ni aje, wacha ikuwe tu ni hivi. Boys amekopa for one term. Tulikuwa tunataka tu mwachia
cheze na vijana, usiende hapo, usifanye hivi, you know, they are given them.
It's play with boys.
Yeah, it's
I know
it's not bad. Listen, but what are we telling our young boys? You know, because from the
by first of all uniting, and once they unite, then they have a voice. They can be heard. They can speak from a point of strength. Once they speak from a strength, they can now.
2027 hamtakuwa na yeye. Na kama ukecheza kama wewe Rigathi Godwana, hata kama unatumanaga na Shiko Godwana, ungekuwa uko your safer side. Ali the better. Hata Mungu ataona umetumia akili. Mungu ataona umefanya vizuri. Umwondokee mapema ndio best. Ni kwa sababu watu wako Sahidi wanaumia. Watu wa Central wanalia usiku na mchana. Na wao mimi najua walipea Ruto kura hata kama Ruto hakushinda.
Going to bow to any forms of intimidation and threats, and we're hereby saying today that we're going to continue picketing, we're going to continue to exercise our constitutional rights.
Now, I just want to talk about one or two issues as a young person and as a political leader in this country. The question
to review our grievances
of floods right now. Mine would be to
youth lazima waendelee. Welcome again, guys. It's another week and it's another month. This is the first show of the month, and oh my gosh, people, happy new month, happy Labor Day. Hata kufanya nilisikia mtu akisema wale wafanyi kazi wafai kuambiwa happy Labor Day. You are is considered you are lazy. You don't understand what is Labor Day, but it's okay. Guys, this is another month and I wish you a happy new month, and I'm very grateful to see you again, my beautiful viewers and my fans, all the people who watch Atec TV. Now guys, this is today I have a good is a Pan-African student leader. Is a student leader. When we say Pan-African means Africa, and it's the West Africa. It's put into one, that is called Pan-Africa. So guys, this is Wave Talk Show, and every time, you know, it's your girl Lisa Wanyande always here, and we're always live on Atec TV, on also Atec Radio, and we are always available on social medias. You can check out us on YouTube. By the way, guys, I want to thank you so much for the last week. I said I wanted more. I wanted some 10 subscribers, and we get it. And I'm very grateful. Thank you so much. It was really great. We still have gifts. I think the people behind the scene will give you credits. There's credits. Keep on subscribing and liking, sharing, comment, and talk to us. Tusukume ikitu, tusukume gurudumu. Manake, this is what we do as human beings, and this is the Web Talk Show, guys. You can find Atec TV on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, the new Twitter, which is X, and also we are on TikTok and also Snapchat and all social media. Also, our website is Atec TV, atecmedia.co.ke. So guys, where you can find us, it usually runs down your screen. You can also talk to us through there, and also you can tag Wave Talk Show and say hi, share your thoughts. If you want to come at the studio and give us a visit, we are always say just tag us at Atec TV, tag at Wave Talk Show, and then we'll just reach out to you. So guys, welcome. Ni new month na nimefurahi. I know there are people being affected by floods right now, and we are confirmed. Check if your friend or your family is safe. I think it is running in most of the social medias. The government is trying to do all they can. Also, Meta, the Zuckerberg, the owner of Facebook, Instagram, Mark Zuckerberg is also trying to assist also through the campaign. Are you safe where you are? Also, at Atec TV, Lisa here always ask, are you safe where you are? You can always talk to me. Are you safe where you are? Tag and say if you're unsafe or safe where you are, because floods are really affecting everywhere. And Atec TV got you covered in every details that are coming in anything that is going on in the country, about economic, about the national calamity. So guys, don't remove your eyes. By the way, I'm not alone in the studio. Niko na mungwana, you know, Mungu. I really don't know. Nilombea mi Kiswahili lifail my teacher. Don't tell her. I think it's her. It was her. Don't tell her. But unfortunately, in the studio, guys, I'm not alone. I have I said again, a Pan-African. When you hear about a Pan-African, it means the East Africa, West Africa in one. That's we have a student leader in all universities. Imagine. Oh my gosh. It's a very good guest. He's on my right side. He's an honorable. He tried to vie for MCS seat in Landimawe sub-county constituency. And if you see someone who is this young, and you also want to try politics, you really get scared. You really wonder why. How much money do they have? Where do they get all this money to do all this? But he's here with us. He's going to tell us. On my side, on my right side, we have Honorable Tony Blair. Tony Blair is the chairman of Onagi Comrades Alliance. That is a new organization that is for connecting youth and comrades together, widely in Kenya or globally. I don't say Pan-African, so he will tell us also that. And he's also a Pan-African student leader. He's a youth leader, and also the former VIA of MCA in the constituency of Landimau. He'll tell us where it is. I'm not here to tell you. So he'll give us his information, his name, and he'll tell us what he does and why. Karibu sana, Honorable.
Hello everyone. Thank you for having me today on Web Talk and at ADTech TV. ADTech TV, yes. Nice to be with you here today. My name is Tony Blair Onyango, former student leader at the Technical University of Kenya. I was a school representative for the School of Electrical, Electronics, Engineering during 2021-2022 academic year, a period in which I was awarded the Student Leader of the Year. Currently, I'm the chairperson of Onagi Comrades Alliance, which intends to unite all Luos Onagi comrades across the continent. As you have said, I'm a Pan-African. And then about my ward where I contested for Member of County Assembly in the last elections, that is the 2022 elections, in Landimau ward, which is in Starehe constituency in Nairobi County. Unfortunately, my votes were not enough, and therefore I am the standing MCA. The sitting MCA is in UDA. Yes, so thank you so much for having me, and I'm looking forward to a very fruitful discussion. And thank you also to all our viewers. Yes.
Okay, you said there is a standing one. I think you will be the next one, probably 227. Are you going to try again?
Definitely. Absolutely.
Or it is the party that you stood with which didn't please people? Because you said the other one, the sitting MCA is UDA. But we'll explain while we discuss more. So, Tony, you came in here and we talked about, you said you're a Pan-African student leader. How did you gain the position?
Okay, thank you so much. They say leadership is a calling. And as a student leader, you identify the gaps in the society. I identified a gap. There was need for comrades to come together. And when I identified the gap, I reached out to my fellow student leaders, some of whom we'd worked with together in the past. And that is how we came to form this organization. Of course, as a concerned citizen, they say the greatest responsibility for you as an individual is to be a citizen and to be an active citizen for this matter. And therefore, I've been very, very interested in leadership and governance. And that is what informed part of the reason why we have this organization today. And I think it is important that people come together, because when you come together, great things happen. Yes.
Wow. There's also Pan-African is an organization that was created in Kenya.
Yeah, sure.
Or with the group of students. Comrades. Comrades are doing a really good job.
Comrades are overworking.
They are overworking and they are not reading at all. But it's okay. I see. No, that is it's something that is the logistics says so. But you have big names, but we don't see what you guys do. I'm sorry, it's not me who said that. So, guys, we're here to talk. Tony, we're here to discuss about state of the nation. What do you understand by the state of the nation and where it is? Do you think it is in the right path, or the state of the nation is not going well? What is your opinion on that?
You see, Lisa, I think when you talk about the state of the nation, then you can look at it in three different ways. There's the social aspect, the political, and the economical. So when we talk about the state of the nation currently, I do not want to handle the social part. I only want to say maybe about the political and the economic. Economically speaking, I think we've seen the cost of living go down. The cost of commodities such as hunger have come down. And I think that is a good thing for us. We also saw the other time the Kenya shilling strengthening against the dollar. Of course, we do not know whether to be happy, because we've also seen that it is not very stable, and there are also predictions that it may also weaken in the coming days. And then we also have the issue of floods, which has affected the country in a huge way. And when you talk also about politics, we've seen the issue of the former Prime Minister Raila going to declaring his candidacy for the African Union Commission. So I think there's a lot at play. But first, I'd love maybe to just congratulate, or maybe to part the Ministry of Interior Coordination and National Administration for their combined efforts in mitigating this issue of floods. We've seen them trying to maybe provide help here and there, and I think that is a good thing. Yeah.
Wow, thank you. Okay, actually, you already clarified what we want to clarify. The state of nation, we have the 3 types, usually 4. It goes to 4. There's healthcare, there's education. There are 5. Education, there's natural calamities, there's economy, and also there's I think I've said all of them. So when you go direct to the economy, you have seen the cost of living going down. How? Because you say the commodities, the most basic important commodities are the unga, sukari, mafuta kupika. That is most important. So when you as a common man, when you see a unga price going down, it means the cost of living is down.
Okay, my thinking when we have what you call the cost of living. Of course, there are other aspects of cost of living, such as maybe the wages and the salaries, which have not gone up, unfortunately. But I was only trying to highlight sometimes you have to appreciate the little things somebody is doing. Yes, if you look at the cost of living in terms of the cost of unga, for example, has come down from around 200 shillings in the past year to now around 140 shillings. That is something to appreciate. When you look at the cost of oil also to some extent has gone down. Sugar, not very, very much. But I think that is...
Sugar is still there.
Sugar is still the same
So the cost of living is not down. We should not use the profit.
But I think it is important that maybe where there is...
You appreciate the people. Or we say the production, the production of the agriculture productions are the people have decided to put the unga, cost of unga down. Let's just say that.
Okay, when the president came in, when he was sworn in the other time, he mentioned that he would try to change the strategy. He said that from instead of maybe subsidizing the consumption as his predecessor used to do, he would now subsidize production. And right now, I think we are now seeing the fruits. Yes, the fruits now that maybe the cost of unga is going down. It may be as a result of subsidizing the production, provision of fertilizers. Of course, we also had the issue of the fake fertilizer in circulation. And yesterday, you also saw the impeachment of Linturi. Yeah, so I think maybe that's a step in the right direction to ensure that our farmers have a reduced cost of production.
Wow, there are a lot of questions on the agriculture, but I won't really ask much of them. I don't know if I'll be allowed by the people behind the scene, but we already have some to ask. There's complaints about youth, the young people. What they say, youth are the next. The next means with the future, or we don't know when is the future. So we don't know if the Kenyan youths have been given a chance or be told that, or empowered or mentored that in 2027 the incoming in government, they will be active. Is there any space for that?
That's a very critical issue, Lisa, and I want to say that it is very unfortunate that in this country, the crop of leaders that we've had are leaders that do not mentor. It is a very sad state of affairs. Of course, there are opportunities, and we've seen the youth literally trying, coming out in large numbers. In the 2022 elections alone, the number of youth who contested was so high. But if you ask any youth today, they'll tell you, to find a leader who will maybe hold your hand and mentor you, it's very rare in our country. So mine would just be to really just to inspire, to motivate the youth who've come out in large numbers to continue pushing. We've seen leaders, very old leaders for that matter, being at the helm of leadership positions, yet we also have a soaring level of unemployment in this country. This is not to say that youth need to be given opportunities because they are young, no. But we have leaders, young people who are qualified, but they have not really been given opportunities to lead, or maybe just to be absorbed or to be mentored. We have people who have overstayed in power, and I think it is time for generational change, and this is just to push all youth pale nje. Let us come out, let us know that there's nobody who will come and hold your hand. It is up to you, and it is your duty. Yes.
Wow, it is up to you.
Of course, absolutely.
It is up to see. Mimi nimesema, unajua, when you're sitting with the honorables, my work is to listen, I listen. So guys, okay, that is what we have been discussing. When you ask you outside there as a youth, have you been empowered? Do you think you youths are going to have a chance in the coming? They always talk about future. We don't know when is the future when you're going to be given a chance, or maybe you'll be given a chance when you're 50 years or when you're 40 years. So are you outside there? Are you consecrated with the opposition, or are you consecrated with the government, or the people who are leading in political institutions, organizations that are going to support the youths? They always talk about the youths. You as a listener, you'll share your thoughts there on our WhatsApp number. It's always running down the screen. And also you can share your thoughts or your comments on the YouTube. And also you can on Facebook, Instagram, and all other social medias. Okay, when you go back, they are in highly before the last year, that is been few months now, the youths have been complaining about unemployment. There are no jobs, saying there's no job. We could see the deputy president of Kenya, he was in one of the institutions and telling this particular university were graduates. He was one of the chief guests, and he could stand in front of this graduate and say, even though you have the paper, there's no job. So, what measures are being taken to address unemployment and also stimulate job creation in Kenya? If the government, that is the government.
First of all, Lisa, that was a very, very unfortunate statement. Mm-hmm. We don't expect that one from a leader. You know, as a leader, you are expected to bring hope.
Maybe aliangukia. Unajua kuna wale wamepewa na Mungu.
Of course, we have leaders who've been spoon-fed and leaders maybe who've had it all rosy. But that was very, very wrong, or maybe that is not what I expected from the deputy president. And I remember it was a graduation ceremony at JKUAT. I think this country, as we know, currently there's a very huge population of young people who are unemployed. Of course, there are many factors that have contributed to that. But I think also as young people, there's a way in which you have also contributed to our unemployment. There's what we call unemployability. You may say that there's no job, but are you employable? Are you a responsible citizen in this country? So
it's challenging.
I'm also challenging my fellow youth out there that before you complain about unemployment, are you employable? Do you have the qualities that would make somebody want to hire you and to give you a salary? You see, but of course, as a country, we need to do much in regards to employment. When you look at countries like China, these are countries that have changed the lives of millions of people from poverty. And I think there's so much potential in the industry, in the area of manufacturing and construction, for instance. Because I think as a country, if we are still importing things like toothpick, those are things we can produce locally and get people employed in that. But as a government,
it is being imported.
We import toothpick. You can confirm.
Toothpick. I will check.
Even
actually we'll play that.
Even this plastic chair that you are seated on, we import this. So when we are still importing so many,
but I think we have a factory in Kenya that produce plastic.
They do, but all I'm saying, my point is, at the end of the day, the amount of things we are producing is not commensurate to the ones that we are importing, and that is what contributes now maybe to what we call our GDP. Our foreign exchange. How much do we get from other countries as opposed to what we are contributing to the economies outside our country, you see? So I think as a government, it has not really been addressed. For instance, which ministry is in charge of organizing or ensuring that young people in our country are employed, or maybe they have something? Because, Lisa, if we have unemployed youth in this country, the crime rates will go high, you see? If also we have a high number of young people who are unemployed, the only thing they know is that for you to be successful in this country is that you have to be a politician, you get into the ministry and steal money. You see, the issue of corruption. We have cases where by announcement, the public service announces that we have opportunities. Yet the people in the same ministries use those opportunities to employ their relatives. You see, so not until we get rid of issues, vices such as corruption, then the unemployment crisis shall forever remain a vice in our country. So a lot really needs to be done on the issue of unemployment.
Wow, I think the time is almost going up. I'm being told my clock, the fast. We're gonna take a short commercial break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk about the national calamities and healthcare and also education. We still have Tony Blair with us, and
wogo, wogo, wogo. Duniani kila mtu na siku yake ya kubarikiwa, kila mtu na siku yake. Duniani kila mtu na siku yake ya kubarikiwa.
Hujambo mtazamaji wangu na karibu tena kwenye Aditech TV, na bila shaka ni MC Sura Mbaya na kuleta kipindi chako cha Dunda na Wasanii.
Welcome to Warrior Within Show, where we embark on a journey of finding the strength within us all, exploring the battles, the triumphs, and the resilient warriors in the society. Join us as we are on a journey to empower, to break stigma, to heal, and find the warrior within. I'm your host, Winda.
Achagua ma magauga ati riu u niguo tugwika no niguo tugwika na nindatigereire he mbeca cia floods ciatengetwo ni tondu ni merigereire mwaka uyu ni gukuge what you call El Nino, na mbeca icio igituika ni milioni cia mbeca iri gutuika atiriri ni kurugamirira ciana, atumia na athuri aria megukorwo me thina-ini wa flood teno. Ndari na haha Mathare hindi ingi na ndiraigua kiriro na ndiraigua kumaka ni kurigwo atiri bururi uyu ni atio.
Hello, I'm Angeline Waithera Gracious, a teacher and also an advocate for gender-based violence and, of course, family as the basic unit of the community. I'd like to invite you all to kindly like, share, and subscribe to Adtech Television Network and radio program. Yeah, karibuni sana.
Wow, oh my gosh, it's very sweaty here guys. You know, na sweat na mvua inanyesha, lakini today there's no rains. Today there's been no rains since morning. I think people enjoyed the weather, at least kajua kalikam. But guys, remember every day to tune in on Wave Talk Show on Adtech TV. We're always live on every Monday at 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Mtu asikudanganye. Wave Talk Show is always live on Monday on Adtech TV from 8 to 9 p.m. at night. So remember to tune in, join in, comment, share, and like. And we still have the guest in the studio. I was cooking, you know, a woman has to. That is what the people, men society say. I'm sorry, I'm not entering into men because I'm saying men say women is to cook. I cook. Okay, welcome back, Honorable Tony. Karibu tena. You enjoying your tea? Okay, guys, we're going back. We left, he was talking about he was addressing the unemployment and stimulate of job opportunities in the country. And they said, I asked a question, are you employed? Did you say employed person?
Are you employable?
Are you employable? Are you employable? Lakini si mimi nimesema, mimi najua nitaanza kuambiwa, oh Lisa, you don't understand, you know, we don't get those jobs, you know, I'm unemployable, oh sijui nini, nguo sina suti, oh hizo ndio tunaambiwa. Hujui kenye unasema, juu uko na uwezo. You know, they usually talk that way. But he has told us the way to address the issue. That's a very good thing, and I hope you listened. I asked a question there also about empowerment, and do you think the youth are going to have a chance in the 2027 election? Or what did this leader mean by we are the future, we are the future? Because there's an initiative. I saw the Secretary General of United Nations was addressing the problem affecting the natural calamity globally. Rain is not only affecting Kenya, and there's some parts of the country that have floods, US, China, and other parts of North Africa, and the other parts that are experiencing heat wave that is killing people there. Even the sick in the hospital cannot survive the heat wave. And also there are parts in Philippines where they're experiencing earthquake. So guys, it is a natural calamity, and all of it is globally. si Kenya peke yake. But he said youths, how do you expect the young ones, the upcoming leaders to do, to use, he used the word that to use, to like he wanted the youth to process the ways of solving the environmental problems, climate, economically, country, so that the youth can have a chance in elections, being in leaders. But he said, what do you want these young people to do with the machines that their grandfathers created? What if we let them to do it on their own? So that is what he said. I think, Tony, you heard that. I think we will tell people what is your opinion on what the Secretary General of United Nations said on that. We can't use the machines. How do you expect the young youth, the upcoming, when you say with the future, the youth are the future, we are the next life. What do you expect them to use the machines that their grandfather built so that we can build the earth, we solve the problems?
I think that it is not wrong to use the machines their grandfathers made. My personal opinion is that we can use whatever has been there as a foundation to build whatever we can use to make changes. Of course, let us not move faster than we can manage. In as much as we want to get our own equipment, get our own machines, and I do not mean this only in the literal sense, we must also appreciate the role of indigenous knowledge and the role of whatever has been there before. If we did not have whatever our grandfathers built today, then we could not be where we are today. So it is good to appreciate whatever has been mental as a foundation, as to build whatever we want to do. If we want to build machines or vehicles or aeroplanes or motorcades for this matter, we will use the same knowledge that has been used to build the vehicles that we have today. So let us not say that, let us not be enemies of our past. For a people without a history or a people without a future, we have to look at what has happened in the future, in the history, and use it to inform our future. That is my opinion about that.
Wow, that is his opinion. For me, I will say, like, whatever you said, we really have to look at it, because it is like they are saying global thing or changes that youths are shouting at or raising voice at. We want change, we want to be part of the change. I think we really need to clarify out, create awareness on youth. We need the education. I think the education is good on what change do we want? How do you want to change these things? What do we want to change in particular? How do you want to be part of the systems of change? So that is what it was said early when the discussion of the global calamity, and really people took it very serious, because I think if you forget, don't forget about Sudan. We're told not forget about Sudan. The Sudans are still fighting till today, and there have been issues of nutrition, sexual violence, and that is robbery. There's a lot of things that are happening in Sudan. It has been 1 year end since they were fighting. Also, don't forget about Ukraine. Also, Ukraine are still fighting. That is what part of the youth are claiming. They want change. Also, we have Jerusalem. That is the Palestine. They're still fighting till today due to, I think, the spaces of the airport, or I think it's religious considerations that have caused the war. So it is not only Africa, but Africa we are not fighting. But there's countries in Africa like Chad that it's always about fighting. So these are the things the youth wants to change. And it's okay. Right now we'll go to the calamities. Tony, we have seen calamities all over. We saw COVID-19. COVID-19 came with a very strong wave, and many people lost. A lot was lost economically. We look at the health, education, things stopped completely. But right now we have another one. There's a calamity that came up, which is a big disaster. It's causing a lot of disaster. There's war. Also, we have the flood, the heavy rain, climate change. I think that is the global warming they're talking about. Or is it, what was the initiation of the global warming discussion with the United Nations? Or is it about the calamity changes in the countries, or you will tell us about that. But there's a global change, and also there's a calamity about floods right now, heavy rains, heat wave, earthquakes. Also, we had today there's a cyclone that can happen anytime. So we really don't know. But now I want to ask you, how resilient is Kenya infrastructure? How resilient is Kenya for infrastructure to natural disasters such as floods, drought, and earthquakes? Right now, we had this cyclone coming. The meteorologists say that. So, how resilient is Kenya infrastructure to handle such?
Thank you, Lisa. I think as a country, this is a test on our resilience currently. But as we've seen before, Kenyans are a resilient people. You remember back then, I think 2 or 3 years back, we had the COVID-19, but today we still stand strong. And I want to believe that that will be the case maybe after these floods. Of course, it is happening globally. And the major challenge we've been facing is because of our drainage. You see that our drainage, especially our roads, we build our drainage beside the roads, which does not actually have adequate space. You see in developed countries, we have the drainage systems being designed below or underneath the roads because there's a lot of space underneath that can be explored to allow the water to freely flow. And we've even seen with the expressway the other day, it was flooded. We've seen that areas we did not expect are also being flooded. So I think this should also be ring a bell in our minds. I think it is high time we reconsider the way we design our infrastructure, especially our roads. And there's a problem also because the cost of living, the living standards of people, there are certain people who may not afford those very good houses in Ronda or maybe in Kilimani. And those people have been living in what we call riparian land. And as I said before, we've seen the government trying to evacuate these people. And as a country, it means then that after these floods, or maybe after this period, we have to sit down and look at or even review our mitigation strategies, the emergency funds being allocated to counties and how they are being utilized. You see, so, and this also calls for collective effort. It means that you, as a Kenyan now, you have to be your brother's keeper, you be your sister's keeper, you help. We have people who are trying to contribute or maybe donate relief food to the victims of floods. So I think we are headed in the right direction, but it might just be the right time to sit down and reconsider the strategies that we've put in place to handle such calamities, and also turn to God and pray about it. Maybe it is just God who is trying to yeah.
I saw somebody talked about it saying us, this is everything. But when you go to the current government, we saw they told us last year that we'll have El Nino. There were funds that were initiated for controlling El Nino. We don't know what happened to them.
Boats.
Those are boats. Right now we can see people building axe boats. We saw the governor of Nairobi County also helping people to cross the flood or the flooded places with a boat. You will tell us all that. It is very coincidental, by the way, people. Also, above all these things, there has to be a strategy. There has to be a strategy. What are the strategies that are put in place for disaster preparedness and emergency response for this?
Well, Lisa, for me, the major thing that I know, or what has been there in the future, which is a common practice, basically is just to allocate money for times such as this. I know, for instance, Nairobi County was allocated this financial year 846 million for emergency and things of that sort. So I think this is the money that what we've seen in the few past years is money being set aside for such times. This money is supposed to be used maybe in donating relief food and evacuating victims of floods. But there has to be, I think we need to change tact. We need to be more of a preventive government so that before it happens, what do we do before it happens? What we are seeing currently is more of a reactive response. That in case of drought, in case of famine, or in case of floods, we have this money to procure boats. We have this money maybe to use it in part or into maybe addressing such issues. What we should be seeing in the coming days is maybe things to do with building more schools, so that even in times when we have floods, our children can still go to school. You've seen that the Ministry of Education and postponed reopening of schools indefinitely. We can't be a country whereby when we have floods, our children cannot go to school. And also in terms of housing, this means then that the government has to sit down and look, how do we provide better housing so that even in times of drought, in terms of floods, hurricanes, like for instance, right now we've been told there's the cyclone Hidaya which is coming. How ready, how prepared we as a country for that cyclone? Remember, this is
Who said all that?
the president mentioned today.
He mentioned today.
Yes, he
Are you
mentioned.
sure?
He said that we are going to have cyclone Idaya, the first ever cyclone affecting our country. But of course, it has become very difficult nowadays to believe even our meteorological department. You remember the other day they said that we are going to expect heavy rains on Thursday and Friday. Of course, we saw what happened on Thursday. So there have been a lot of inconsistencies, and that is also one of the areas we need to address. That do we have the accurate reporting? Like if the meteorological department says today you expect long rains tomorrow, is it accurate? Or is it the day you are going to carry your umbrella, then tomorrow there's a lot of sunshine? You see? So we really need to do a lot in terms of climate reporting, number one. And what we are seeing today, Lisa, is just one of the effects of climate action, which is under SDG number 13. So as a country, we really need to do a lot in terms of disaster preparedness. Yes.
Umesema wakisema leo unapata kesho Thursday, Friday, si ile yenye wamesema. Leo wamesema cyclone. Sasa najua mnangoja. Watu wangoja unaona pia ni ile tu mambo yao tu.
Sasa hii itabidi ndio tumengoja tuone, because hapa kwa hii government seeing is believing. Ukiona imekuja, so
is there any system that can create a cyclone? Unajua if we develop fully with the equipment of scientists, they can create it also. Scientists
I'm not sure. What we are doing currently is just waiting to see if that would be the. Of course, it is very unlikely that we have a cyclone hitting us, and the probability is very low.
It's a first time to hear about the cyclone hitting East Africa, and I really want to see how it's going to affect it. How does it? We have seen it in the places where there's an island in foreign diaspora countries. But in Africa, not African, in Eastern Africa, it's not. I really don't know. But we're not. Atupingi, we are waiting. Honorable Tonia said we wait. We go to the healthcare. What is happening to the healthcare right now in Kenya? A Kenyan healthcare system, what is happening? Because it has been months. We have seen there are strikes. There are lots of complaints. People are dying in hospitals. No one cares. We have seen, it has been months, by the way, a lot of months. We have seen the leader who is leading KMPDU is being beaten because it's being threatened. We see the hands of security, the law for enforcement are being involved. What is happening to the healthcare system in Kenya right now?
You see, Lisa, when we are addressing a problem, we have to start from the root. You see, the healthcare system in Kenya is actually devolved. The county government is responsible for its health sector, paying of its health workers, and that is so. So you even wonder, why is it that we still have a national, a ministry of health, for instance, when the health is devolved? You see, and I think it also begs the question, why would we then devolve health and leave things such as education still for the central government? You see, I think it would have been proper to maybe have the health system being centralized and maybe devolve education, because health is more critical. What we are seeing currently is a lot of confusion. You see, there's a lot of confrontation because the medical interns and the KMPDU and the doctors, the other day you saw a meeting between the Council of Governors and the health practitioners flopped. Why? Because there's a lot of chest thumping from both sides. You see the doctors saying we'll not go to work. The ministry also saying we are going to fire you. So what we need, and yet we have patients. Needy comrades are dying in hospital. Those who are not able to afford private health care. You see, there are a lot of people dying, not because they are too sick, but because there are no health practitioners. What we should be doing currently is we need maybe the president to intervene. We also need other stakeholders. Let people come down and say, in the best interest of the country, let us come down and end this health strike. Today is, I think, the 53rd or the 52nd day, and still counting. And we don't know, we are not seeing the end in sight. We've had the county governments threatening their doctors to sack them. So I think that as a nation, we have to go back and think, was it the right decision to devolve health to the county level? You see, because right now we are seeing the patients are still dying, and the doctors, the medical interns have also not been posted. You see somebody going to school for 6 years, then you tell this person that, you see, now we cannot post you, you have to continue go back to your classes until we are at a better situation. We cannot be a government that says that we are not able to pay medical, to post medical interns and to pay doctors. But this is the same government we've seen that is fairing ballot papers for party elections with choppers. So what are our priorities? We've seen the ministers, some of our cabinet secretaries wearing very expensive watches and very expensive shoes. So that is a very wrong picture that we are portraying to our country, and to have our medical doctors. Our healthcare of our country is a very, very critical part. You see, remember, it is the same time we are having the Chief Administrative Secretary, the CSS, and they have proposed, the SRC has proposed very, very heavy packs for them. Basic salary alone, I think, is around hundreds of thousands. Yet these medical interns are saying, look, we want around 200,000. Of course, that one may be too extravagant, but of course you can sit down and renegotiate. You see, there's no need, because they normally say in determining the salary of a person, you check the impact to society. So do you want to tell me that the impact a doctor has to the society is lower than that of a CS? So that is a hogwash. Actually, it is not sensible at all. Yes.
So when you see, I think we've seen the interns are the ones who majorly in the largest percentage in the strike of doctors. So which means the doctors that who supposed to imply the work as doctors are not working. So they're giving the interns their jobs to do.
No, Lisa, of course, that person you normally meet in hospital, on most occasions, it is the intern.
The interns who are given the jobs, yes, but the doctor just sitting there.
He is not sitting there. Which doctor have you seen sitting there? On most occasions, the doctor is maybe attending to more serious. Of course, in any hospital, there are places for casualties, there are people for inpatient, outpatient, and all those categories. So, a healthcare system works in this way. The doctor is supposed to attend to those most important thing. Of course, there are also operations being done. There are people being brought in by the second. On most occasions, the person attending to is the medical intern, meaning then that a medical intern is practically a doctor. You can't say that now I only want to be treated by the doctor. There are certain things you can't take to the doctor. You have a small wound there. You want to take it to be taken to the doctor. So there are priorities. Somebody who is in more need is given attention by the doctor as you are being handled here by the medical intern. So we cannot dispel the fact that the medical intern is also a qualified practitioner, and that is part of their learning. Yeah.
And what is the government addressing the issue? How is the government addressing the issue so far?
You see this government.
What is funny? We just talk about the government.
You know, there's a lot of confusion.
Government can be anyone.
There's a lot of confusion in so many ministries in this government.
Yes.
Yeah, when you look at, I said previously, you saw the impeachment of the CS of Agriculture yesterday. So what I'm expecting right now is that the CS for healthcare will follow suit.
Why should you be impeached?
Of course,
also?
If you can't do the job, then you should leave office. We can't have medical doctors striking for the past 50 days and there's nothing being done. You see, when there's a problem down here, then probably it starts from the top. Yes, so if the CS is not able to put her house in order for this matter, she should be allowed to leave. Yes, and we also expect the same thing maybe in the Ministry of Transport and any other ministry that is not working. So far, the only ministry I've seen trying to do and up their game and work is the Ministry of Interior and National Administration. Really trying to coordinate activities and rescue missions here and there, trying to sensitize people and moving people forcefully from riparian land. You see?
Okay, you just continue your point. You are not finished. There has to be something.
Oh.
You left it where...
You want me to advise this defunct government?
Oh no, I didn't say this way. You call them how you want, but you just have to finish. You need to hear.
All I'm saying is, as I said previously, there has to be a meeting point. Yes, a point of intersection between the demands of the medical interns and the doctors, and also for the ministry. Of course, we have to live within our budget, as the president said the other day. What we need to see right now are collective effort. People pulling down their egos to go and listen to one another. The doctors must agree that if we are not able to afford 200,000, what can be afforded? If we are not able to, maybe they say there was a CBA they signed in 2017 that needs to be put in place. So if certain aspects of that CBA can be put in place, which ones are there and which ones? So what I'm saying is the government, together with the doctors and all other stakeholders, must come to an agreement. Each person must put the ego aside and agree to listen in the best interest of the country and for that patient who is lying in the Kenyatta National Hospital. That is the only way we can solve this thing.
Okay, well, guys, it's really getting so hot here. Truly a politician, you know how he's strategizing everything. We're gonna take a short short commercial break. I'm gonna cook. Let me go check my rice if it is ready. So, pia mini kule. Remember to watch Wave Talk Show, tag Wave Talk Show on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the social medias, and we're always live on Atec TV and Atec Radio. So we'll be back shortly.
Wogo wogo. Duniani kila mtu na siku yake ya kubarikiwa, kila mtu na siku yake.
Monday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Ni Monday watu wangu. 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Look at the talks we have talked. Previously, before we go for a break, we were discussing about the defunct government. I said defunct government, it's not me. And about the healthcare that is happening in the country. Bwana Honorable Tony, you said the defunct government, it's not me. It is you said, yeah. Okay, so if we go back to the education, we saw the schools recently were postponed. Reopening was postponed due to floods, and the announcement was made in the middle of the night. Usiku wa manane. Unamka asubuhi unashtuka simu, there's no school. I think the school of nowadays are enjoying my time. Hata maandamano hakuna. You guys are enjoying. This is Gen Z. But it's okay. The education currently, we are going to education. What is education? The education system in Kenya. How is it? Because we see it today CBC, tomorrow is 844. Is 844 done or the CBC? Which one is working? Because there are people, CBC is a kid who can cook right now. He can make chapati. The 844 cannot make chapati. He has to go to university to learn to cook chapati. See, that's some parent in a difference. So me to understand what is CBC. What is the current education system in Kenya? Because we don't understand where is it going? Where is it standing? Where is it? We saw results imechangiwa siku hizi ni online. How can we show online is safe rather than the one we used to be called on national TV? We didn't celebrate the way in 2020 we celebrated our winner. Where is the education system in Kenya? Where is it standing?
Thank you, Lisa, for that. Of course, the education system is also in chaos. Right now, we are not sure what is taking place. There's no problem with CBC, only the implementation. You see, I don't think there's a problem with 844 system again also. But of course, there's always changes constant and we have to change and adapt to the future. I believe that the only problem with this CBC thing is just the implementation. Of course, CBC needs a lot of funds. I don't think as a country we are prepared for that. Remember, we are still the same country facing floods right now. So it means then that we have to ask ourselves, which one is of a higher priority to us? CBC, for instance, the children nowadays are taken in school, they learn how to build, how to cook. They can't cook when they don't have that food, you see. So meaning that the education ministry requires a lot of funds from the national treasury. What we are having currently are even, we have the junior secondary schools that have been put up. Even there are no adequate teachers to teach those kids we are sending there, you see.
But the teachers who are learning also graduates already.
That is exactly my point, Lisa. You see, if we have teachers right now who have not even been posted, why? Because of financial constraints of the government has said so. How then do we intend to implement the CBC, which is going to need more teachers when we can't employ more teachers? And even the teachers that are currently employed, we hear some of the time that their salary has delayed. Sometimes you also hear that they have not been paid. Just the other time they are on strike. So what we need right now is a complete overhaul. This ministry is in chaos. This Ministry of Education, the other day you saw they released a memo at 1:20 a.m.
At the time.
Yes, 1:20 a.m. when pupils have already woken up and they are going to school, you are on the way, you are traveling. That is when you are told that, you see, no, we have postponed. Today it has also been postponed indefinitely. So I think the Ministry of Education, they also need a bit of changes. Remember the times when we had the Professor George Albert Omore Magoa, God rest his soul in peace. We were not experiencing such problems. You see, so it all boils down to the people who have been given this responsibility. The president may be having a very good intention. He may be having a very good vision for this country, but the people he has given to do this job, the Ministry of Education, sit down, let them highlight whatever is needed for this CBC. Let the government source enough funds for this money until such a time when we are ready to implement this CBC thing. Let us not rush. Yes, if anything, the only problem we are having is a mismatch between the education we get at school and what is in the job industry, you see. So I think that as a country, we are in the right direction, but of course, a few challenges need to be addressed before this project becomes fruitful.
Wow. This project, he has said, Honorable Tony Blair has said, let me put you in point. He has said that the government should work on point A, then when you finish point A, they go to point B, because all this is just going to bring a lot of confusion, a lot of funds being wasted, and the also jobs are not implemented or created. The plea of the youth are not heard. So that is a politician talking, political activist. Anajali vijana. On my question on the education, I will ask you, what do you think about the education system in Kenya? Where is it going? Where is it standing? Because today we have this, tomorrow we have this. So it is up to you, the viewer of Wave Talk Show. You tell us and share your thoughts and your comments on all social medias. We can see the curriculum evolving, the new one, which is the CBC right now, which is trying to be implemented by force to the parents, to meet the needs of a changing society and a global. How is it going to change the global or the needs of a society?
Thank you. I first of all, we do agree that we have a problem of unemployment as a country, and I think this is just in a bid to ensure that whatever we are being given in school is exactly what we need in the job market. As I said earlier on, we had a mismatch. You see that you go to school maybe for 8 years, primary, secondary, then you go to university. You train, for example, to be an actuarial scientist, or you train to be an engineer. What CBC is trying to do currently is to ensure that you are an engineer who can design something. In the recent past, we've had you are an engineer, but whenever we have a contract, maybe to build a superhighway, to build a road, it is given to a Chinese or a Japanese or even a British company. Right now, we have the China Road and Bridge Company, which has been doing so many projects in our country. So what CBC is trying to do is to ensure that our engineers, our doctors have the capacity to do what we need as a country, so that we are not importing so much expertise at the expense of the Kenyan mwananchi. That is what CBC is trying to do. That if you are a builder, a mason, you can build a house. If you are an engineer, an electrical engineer or a civil engineer, you can actually be given a contract by the Kenyan government and build the road. If you are maybe a doctor, we don't need to continue ferrying our patients to India. We can have local facilities inside this country where you can be operated on. And we saw the perfect example of the Makueni governor. He had an operation at Makueni Level 5 Hospital. The other day, we also had Governor Anyang' Nyong'o of Kisumu being operated on at JTRH in Kisumu. So I think that is the intention of CBC, which for me is a good thing.
Wow, guys, our time is really winding up, and when we say time is winding up, it's not on my side. See, Mimi, we would love to go on and keep on discussing a lot. There are a lot of points to discuss, also to ask Tony Blair. Honorable Tony Blair has been with me since the start of the show, and we went for breaks, we came back, but this is Wave Talk Show always, we only initiate on politics. So, if Tony, do you have anything in general that you can add up as we finalize, as we wind up? Do you have anything in general?
Thank you, Lisa, for this opportunity. What I'd say in general, as you've tried to put it, is my clarion call to the Kenyan youth. Personally, I contested in Landimawe in 2022, as I told you, on Maendeleo Chap ticket. So I just want to tell my fellow youth pale nje that it is good, it is important that we dare to dream, and that we put ourselves and we offer ourselves for election. Some of these things we are saying that needs to be done, it is important that you also offer yourself as an alternative. Usikue tu mtu wa kurusha mdomo na kusema oh this. No. Offer yourself na wewe uone whether it can be done or cannot be done. Then the other thing will just be to encourage the president to remain focused and to ensure that the people he has appointed or that he has given responsibilities do them in the correct manner. And generally right now, just to ask all Kenyans pale nje, be your brother's keeper. When you have neighbors whose property has been washed by the floods, please, if you have something extra you can give, let us watch out, confirm whether your friends are safe at this moment, and also ensure that personally you are also safe. Get home early saizi, ndio usipatikane na hii maji ya mafuriko ya kufurike. Thank you so much.
Fika mapema kwa nyumba inapunguza mafuriko. Sasa aya, wewe fanya kazi. Ndio si akisema fanya kazi, you're the slave. A white man once said employers will become the slaves. When you are holding a degree, a PhD or a master's, you are a slave of a person who never even graduated, who never entered the university. So wewe kuwa slave, usitoke kazi. Utakosa kazi na utateseka. But just watch out. Actually, when we are stopping, wherever you're going, confirm if the way you're going through is safe. But when they have heavy rains, I think the metro just do inform your friend, inform others. Guys, don't pass this road, don't go this way, we go to another path. So be your friend's keeper, be your neighbor's keeper. Hata kama mjuani, be your friend's keeper. That is, I think, health of a mental way. The mental health, that is to save everyone. So this has been a Wave Talk show, and every Wave Talk show is always on Monday at Tech TV and Tech Radio, live at 8 to 9 p.m. And me, I want to finalize and close and pack my things, guys. You know, I don't want the rain to find me also. As Honorable Tony has said, go home early to avoid being taken away by water. Wenye mnabebwa na maji mnachelewa. Lakini government will wake you up. You have to work. So this is a talk, and I want to say, I want to wind up. I've been your host, Lisa Wanyand, and remember to follow Tech TV and Tech Radio on all social medias. You know all the social media. Sai kila mtu anajua social media gani tunaongelelea. So all the social media are available. And or remember to tag Wave Talk Show every day, whenever we have a discussion, what you want to share, when you want to join us here to come for a discussion. We are here every day, and we get you covered in everything global news, whatever is coming up. This is a Tech TV, and we are always one step ahead. Bye bye.
Thank you so much. My name is Tony Blair Onyango, Chairperson of Onagi Comrades Alliance, student leader at the Technical University of Kenya. And before I proceed, I just want to ask you to comment, like, and follow AdTech TV. Also get to follow Wave Talk Show. Thank you so much. Now, I just want to talk about one or two issues as a young person and as a political leader in this country. The question of floods right now. Mine would be to encourage you as a Kenyan today, ensure that you confirm that your neighbors are safe, and be your brother's keepers in these difficult moments. Also to encourage the counties and to demand that they utilize fully the emergency funds that have been set aside for disaster management and for response also in evacuating the flood victims. Also, on the question of floods, I've seen, of course, I can laud the Ministry of Interior for trying to coordinate rescue missions for those who have been affected. Please avoid areas avoid riparian land as you've been advised by the so much. My name is Blair, chairperson of Onagi Comrades Alliance, student leader at the Technical University of Kenya. And before I proceed, I just want to ask you to comment, like, and follow AdTech TV. Also get to follow Wave Talk Show. Thank you so much. Now, I just want to talk about one or two issues as a young person and as a political leader in this country. The question of floods right now. Mine would be to encourage you as a Kenyan today, ensure that you confirm that your neighbors are safe and be your brother's keepers in these difficult moments. Also to encourage the counties and to demand that they utilize fully the emergency funds that have been set aside for disaster management and for response also in evacuating the flood victims. Also, on the question of floods, I've seen, of course, I can laud the Ministry of Interior for trying to coordinate rescue missions for those who have been affected. Please avoid areas avoid riparian land as you've been advised by the Ministry of Interior, and also, please also ensure that you go home early where you can avoid being rained on. Then also on the issue of education, we've seen the Ministry of Education releasing a memo at 1:20 a.m. when people are asleep. That means there's a lot of confusion in the ministry, so that needs to be corrected. I've seen the schools have been closed indefinitely. Yes, I think that is also good to ensure that we prioritize the well-being of our learners. But of course, more needs to be done. That was a very good directive from the president. Let us ensure that we have concerted efforts to ensure that these floods menace that not claim more lives. And finally, also on the issue of health, no, not finally, second last, the issue of health, we've seen the medical doctors and the interns. The interns have not yet been posted. The doctor's strike is entering the 50-something day. This is actually very sad and unfortunate. We have people who are dying in hospitals. I want to appeal to our president to please intervene in this issue and ensure that these medical interns are posted. And to the Cabinet Secretary for Health, kindly let us stop this chest thumping. To the KMPD officials, let us come to a consensus and agree that in the best interest of our country, we are going to sit down and discuss a return to work formula. And also, we saw the impeachment of the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture. If the Ministry of Health also does not end this strike, then we expect a similar thing to happen. We expect that the CS for Health will also be impeached. We do not want double standards where some people are impeached, yet others are retained. Then I'll also want to urge my fellow youth across the country, let us engage actively matters leadership and governance. Let us hold our leaders accountable. Let's offer ourselves for leadership positions. Do not think that there's anybody coming to help you. Nobody will hold your hands. We've seen this current generation overstaying in leadership opportunities. It is time for generational change, but you have to position yourself strategically. Yes, and to take action, to vote. We have a majority of people in this country, young people, we make up over 60%. Let us vote. And if you can't vote, then you have no business even questioning this government. Then aside from that, let us take action as Kenyans. It is not enough to post or to post from a point of privilege only. We have to take action. Personally, as Onagi Comrades Alliance chairperson, I will be leading my team. We'll be visiting Mathare to provide aid to the flood victims. So if you are interested, please reach out to any of the OCA officials. There's nothing too little in these times. If you have a bucket of rice or maybe a packet of milk or just some clothes you don't use, it is actually time to come out. Let us walk there. Let us try and support them, because we have families whose property has been literally washed away. Everything has been washed away. They have only themselves. If you have a blanket, some sheets, some socks, I'm encouraging you. We'll be doing that visit on Monday. You can reach out personally to me. And then also, lastly, on the politics, we've seen the Raila Amolo Odinga, the former Prime Minister, has declared his candidacy for the AU, African Union Commission chairmanship. He has declared his interest. I ask you all to support him. I also implore the President to support him. And we hope that he shall win finally, and that this time now the President or the Prime Minister will now finally get what he has been looking for. It means then that as young people, we also have to ensure that we are strategically placed and that we take hold of the vacuum which shall be left there. Thank you so much. My name is Tony Blair Onyango, the chairperson of Onagi Comrades Alliance. And remember to subscribe at least, to share, to like, and to like and to comment. Yes, regarding our visit for those victims of floods, if you want to reach out to me, you can do so through my phone number 0703 65 16 73. You can also message me on the same contact, and I'll get back to you and we'll organize. Thank you so much. Tech TV, thank you for the opportunity. Also, make sure you follow Wave Talk Show and also register as a member of Onagi Comrades Alliance. Power to the people.